Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode. Today I'm going to be working with the 40 sub special. Before we begin, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I joined just 4 months ago, and the fact that so many people have been supporting me is so fun. I just wanted to say thank you, and let's get into it. So, this is the story about WaterStrider and really where she came from and how she's my OC for my YouTube channel. So it all started a long time ago. Whenever I was in about 4th grade or 3rd grade, I can't really remember because it was so many years ago, I decided to make a little OC with my friends. We would play around as dragons, and we found the series really interesting. So it all started whenever I came up with a Hivewing Seawing, which at the time I didn't actually get to the point of Hivewings in the story, but I wanted to do it anyway because it was a dragon that I was not familiar with. I came up with it just because I liked sea and bugs and stuff, so I just combined them both. My friend, but she came up with a Nightwing Rainwing hybrid called Starfall. My other friend came up with a character called Heatstroke, who was a two-tailed Skywing and Sandwing hybrid. So, Heatstroke was based off of sort of like a Ninja Warrior type thing, but what was so cool was that Starfall was heavily based off of Darkstalker in the books, in which she was born under 3 moons, in which she had incredible mind-reading and foretelling ability, as well as animus magic, sort of like Darkstalker. This gave us the ability to be able to, all 3 of our dragons have, different powers. So let's get into the story. WaterStrider was weird. She grew up in the Sea Kingdom, yet she had such weird wings. She hatched out of an egg quite early and always struggled to breathe underwater. I mean, she could, but she didn't do it as easily as others. She also had extremely bright scales. She didn't have as many glowy scales as the other dragons, but her glowy scales that she did have glowed like the sun. She grew up around that area and had 2 siblings, but they were both Seawings. Unlike her, she thought she was just weird, but she had no idea what hybrids were. Eventually, she grew up and went to Jade Mountain Academy. This did not go well. Because of her weird wings and style, most didn't really know what she was. So eventually she left out of, pure anxiety. Eventually she resided in the Scorpion Den. This Scorpion Den was where she met 2 other dragons. 2 weird dragons. The first was a dragon named Starfall, a dark-colored dragon with 3 teardrop scales at the corner of her eyes. She also had this weird amulet on her arm, which apparently gave her the ability to be able to search through people's minds as well as read them, which, honestly, WaterStrider at the time did not find that creepy. Another one was Heatstroke. He was trained in battle training in the Skywing area, and he was always having this sword on his left thigh. He had 2 weird tails with scorpion barbs on them, and apparently he was hatched too early, and so he had major deformities on his paws, claws, and tail. The 2 tails made great for combat, yet they would sometimes get in the way. The trio went out and stole and pillaged many cities, and they all did different things such as that. Starfall gave them all gifts. WaterStrider got a gem that was embedded in the left eye. It was a purplish, pink, salmon-colored gem. But, most importantly, it gave her the ability to have stingers extract out of her wrists. This was because of some weird magic particles, and she didn't really understand it, but whenever it did happen, it felt extremely weird, like another extension in her body. Her wrists would come out with sharp stingers that were black in color. They yielded a venom that would be able to paralyze enemies, sort of like those hive-wing tails. Starfall then gifted Heatstroke with his. He had an enchanted sword, which he didn't actually have to hold anymore, because it would fly around at his will. It would be able to puncture enemies and go through anything in its path, just at a mind's thought. The main reason WaterStrider left the group was because Starfall started to go insane. She started casting spells just to fix the easiest of problems. She would make food for herself so she didn't have to go out there and get food herself. She would kill people with the money that they would steal. It was horrible. Eventually, Heatstroke and WaterStrider left, and Heatstroke, well, she didn't know where he went. Eventually, they woke up a camp morning, and he was gone. WaterStrider was very depressed, and so we go back to where she was in the Sea Kingdom. Here, she learned that she was half Hive-Wing, which apparently are dragons that still live on Pantala, but they came over once in a while. She found this out and started discovering different Hive-Wings, and finding out that they were a very awesome tribe. Eventually, she made her own town. It was called Strider's Sanctuary. It was a town where hybrids were allowed and, well, were free. Eventually, one day in the old seasons, she found Starfall and Heatstroke. They met up and talked about their different things. And they apparently were coming to, well, stay at the sanctuary. No one else really wanted them, so this was the way. Heatstroke, he mainly did the fighting, and Starfall, well, she died. Eventually, she got to the point where she was literally going insane. Like, insane. WaterStrider tried to keep her down, but eventually she got so angry at both of them that she literally took some spears and told them to stab them. Well, Heatstroke got a horrible spine in his leg, and WaterStrider almost got a ripped wing, yet she was very agile and was able to get away. Eventually, Heatstroke had enough of it and sliced her throat. And that's where we'll leave off, because I don't want this going too long. So basically, WaterStrider has a past of death and a lot of different things. I sort of came up with this over the past couple years, yet I don't really have many things scoped out yet. All I know is that eventually Starfall betrayed them. Because of her magic, she went insane. Heatstroke also killed her, so he felt very sorrowful and didn't really be the same ever again. They did still have their gifts, though, and they used them to do good on Pantala and, well, Pyria. And that's pretty much it. Tell me if you guys like this content, and here's a picture of the trio. Bye!